What is stopping you from killing your family right now? I mean, honestly, doesn't it annoy you that they always fight and they're usually terribly noisy?
Aren't you getting tired of your mother ordering you around, making you do things you don't want to do?
What is consciously or unconsciously stopping you from driving a knife into your father's chest?
Or your sisters, or brothers, or your fourth aunt twice removed?
Is it that little cricket on your shoulder that tells you, no, don't do that, that's bad?
Now I want to ask you, where's the line drawn between morality and immorality? And how do we justify our moral decisions?
To find the answer to this question, we went around asking some school-related professionals and ungodly citizens their opinions on related matters. We are
Johnny,
Zach,
and Patrick,
presenting
Morally Gray.
Morally Gray.
Morally Gray.
Colorful stories.
First up, we have our friend Nathan Mainster. Mr. Mainster gave us his own definition of morality.
Morality is your code of laws that you were either raised by or grew up around or formed yourself. And it depends on what you believe in, your religions, your environmental factors, and it's overall how you conduct yourself in situations.
So after listening to Nathan's opinions on the subject of morality, we have some opinions of our own that we would like to share. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Pat's. Pat, what do you think about morality?
Well, I kind of have to personally agree with Nathan's definition of what morality is. I think it depends on where you're growing up, like where your environment is, who is raising you, and what kind of like religious view you have, like maybe if you're atheist or not, but sometimes that can coexist. But my definition of morality is what you think is right and wrong. So,
Zach, how about you?
So for me, I felt like I really enjoyed listening to what Nathan had to say, but I kind of disagree in many aspects, or at least the main aspect I disagree with him is that Nathan talked about how morals can really be shaped by external factors, where I really feel that like someone's morals is something that they always have, where no matter what the circumstances are, your morals will not change. So you're born the way you're born the way you are, and those are your morals. No matter how you're raised, no matter who raised you, your morals for the most part are not going to change that drastically much. And now back to you, Johnny.
I'm going to disagree with you, Zach, for a bit, because I think that someone's morals are subject to changing, because definitely people can teach other people how to act, and it's basically psychology or some way that they've been their parents have taken care of them or raised them.
Once again, Johnny, like, I agree with you, like, your morals can be changed, but for the most part, like, if you're going to be a bad person, you're kind of born somewhat of a bad person. If you're a good person, you're born somewhat of a good person. Obviously, a bad person can become a little bit better of a person from how they're raised and who raised them, but for the most part, it doesn't change that drastically much.
All right, so moving on from the topic of morality, we would also like to look at how religion can play a part in one's shaping of morality.
Well, in my opinion, every religion on this earth, sort of including atheism, is based off something. So whether it's a god, it's no god, the main concept of religion is or really anything, is to really make yourself better, make the world better. And so the general thought of religion is to make someone's morals better. So, in general, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what religion you are, they all really come from the same roots.
Right. Same thing with like atheism. It's not necessarily considered a religion. It's more of like a not believing in God or not really having a religion. So definitely their moral codes come from within, or from how they were raised to what they just come up with themselves. So after listening to Nathan's thoughts on moral codes, we thought, how do schools influence a child's moral decisions, or how do schools shape a child's moral code? So we thought that Dean Gibbs would do a great job in answering such a question because he works with children and he definitely knows a lot about the school system.
Yeah, of course they do. I don't think that they teach that as explicit end of point lesson. I don't think it's the point for them to be the arbitrators in your life of what's moral and what is immoral. But I think that I would hope that by giving you a base of knowledge, which then you combine with your value set, allows you to make decisions about what's moral and immoral. I don't think that it's your teacher's job to teach you morality, although you certainly may study morality in your subjects, especially in English and social studies, and to some extent in language, depending what language you're in. I think it's the assumption of your teachers that you're going to be moral and upright, and it is certainly the intent in a subsequent message of your classes to teach you right from wrong in terms of their lesson plan. But that's not an end of itself. It's a means toward an end to help you be that kind of person, but not to make you be that kind of person.
So Zach, what do you think about how the United States education system influences the moral decisions that students make?
So how I feel about schools and morals is that schools, especially in classes like history and maybe English, schools help give you ideas about the world around you and how other people and other societies define their morals. And so school systems, in my opinion, help you basis your own morals. So you don't, like, your morals aren't supposed to specifically be what you're taught in school, but help you figure out what you want your moral code to be, help you figure out how you want to live your life.
And I also think that they teach us what is appropriate, the appropriate ways to act in society by giving us examples of people who did the wrong things, such as Hitler or Mao Zedong, and they showed us the way that they acted and how bad it was, so that we will not make those mistakes again. So Zach had some interesting points on how schools influence our moral decisions. So, Pat, do you think that school systems should be able to influence our moral decisions?
I personally think yes, because without them, I feel like if we chose our own moral code, it wouldn't end well, because we would just go off stuff we don't like. Say, someone took something of mine and then I beat them up for it, and I would think, oh yeah, that's fine. Schools would teach us you can't just beat someone up if they do something you don't like. So I feel like, yes, schools have the right to teach us what is moral and what is immoral.
We've been thinking about the question, should schools be able to choose whether or not we should take a class in morals. So, Pat, what do you think about this subject?
Well, really thinking about it, a class on morality does seem like a good idea, because that way we can really study what different ideas and opinions on morality are, like how different people think about it in different countries, areas, religion, that kind of stuff, and we could just get a better understanding of how different morality is depending on the person.
On the other hand, I completely disagree with Patrick. Where I guess it's important to people to understand how people's morals are throughout the world. But I think a real class for morals would be really against the idea that people are allowed to be who they are. And so, if you're saying, it's like saying having a class on your own. Whatever, your own beliefs, it's like having a religious class in school. Morals something you base on how you feel as a person, not on what the government says or what someone else says or what my parents say or what my professors say. Morals are something you internally believe in. Generally they can be pretty similar, but they're not something that someone has the power to shape other people's morals.
But do you think that these classes would actually shape a person's morals, or do you think that it would just give them new ideas of morals?
It might be slightly helpful in giving people new ideas of morals, but really morals are something you have to feel inside. And when a situation comes along where you see something that could be either wrong or right or something you do not believe in, then that should be internal. It shouldn't be someone being oh, that situation over there, that one there, that is immoral. or something like that, that there is a moral. But personally, I believe that I should have stood up.